Okay, right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, part of the New Talent Rising, and we've got a familiar face, and I've heard you guys are the iconic duo, so we're going to go into this and we're going to do our introductions. First, we will go with our introduction of a very familiar face, and that's the one and only Manny G. How are you doing, sir?
Turn to me. I'm very good, thank you. Yes.
Good, Manny.
Just currently finished a project, actually, a music video, and it's with an organisation called the Westway Trust. It was an anti-gun and knife crime project. It was an anti-gun and knife crime project from a song I wrote 10 years ago with my father, because we realized that a lot of young people are ruining their lives, damaging a lot of communities. A lot of parents are heartbroken because of the activities that these young people are doing, the negative influences that these young people are doing, and it's so easily influenced to get down that path, because a lot of young people are using gun and knife crime as this glamorization, and they think that's the life to live, but it's actually the lifestyle. A lifestyle is what they think they have. The chains that they pop in, the chains that they like to pop off of people, the people that they like to take lives away, the biggest cars, the champagnes they ride in, that's a lifestyle. But life is just basically like living it day in and day out, going out in the fresh air, going out in the park, going out, like interacting with people, socializing with people, doing something practical. So my song is just about that, but bringing the community together, and hopefully with time, my lyrics just meet the right people, and change doesn't happen tomorrow, but my song is bring the community together, man. It's time for a change. Let's stand up against gun and knife crime, because you've got a lot of people, man, just their lives, that model, 25 years old, he got stabbed just down the road there, in Acton. That's very deep, man. He had his whole life ahead, and we don't need more of that stress, you know what I'm saying? We don't need that in where I'm growing up as well. People just as aspiring as me, and it's very heartbroken to see that as well, because he had a lot of potential. And there was these other two people as well who got...
Just in Camden,
just in Camden as well. And that's very tragic as well. So if we bring a lot of people, the effective people, that have been, victims of gun and knife crime, has lost a lot of people, a lot of siblings. If we bring them together and we just start a load of events, I know money behind it and stuff like that, but if we just start small, it doesn't have to be big. We could have a meeting together and talk to people, and then we could solve this, man. It doesn't happen tomorrow, but a lot of people saying, oh man, you've got people, like ignorant people saying it's not. If we get there, man, and if we just do the work, it could happen. And that's what my song is. And I'm proud to say I've completed a music video. I've directed my first project for it, man. And through the cold, and through hiring people, and through hiring the best cameraman, Sam acted as the policeman in the video as well. So he's a multi-talented writer, but he'll get to that later. But I've just done loads, and the music video's out on YouTube, Manny G TV, and just pushing it, man. And yeah.
Fantastic, and congratulations to you on that.
Thank you.
As you said, talking about events and getting the message out there.
Yeah.
I understand you've also been doing a school tour.
Yes,
to get
that's
out there.
it.
Tell us a bit more about that.
Thank you for the light bulb above my head. Yes, I've just started a school tour in January on the 17th in Melbourne Primary School. It's just basically going around the school and then telling kids at a very young age that, knife crime is not the path to go around, because it's so easily... it's so easy to be influenced by someone telling you that it's the right thing to do, and it's not the right thing to do. Taking a knife and, carrying a legal weapon itself is the wrong thing to do, let alone taking someone else's life. That's very bad, and it's so easily influenced. Like in secondary, people with Swiss Army knives going to tell you it's good to juke up this youth and nothing's going to happen. That's not a good thing, That's not a good message. So I'm telling these young people at a young age now, so that they are adaptive and they could do something better, They could go to places like the Lyric Theatre at Hammersmith. Me and Sam work there. We're assistant directors. We work with a lot of young people, and we want them to go on the right path with their life. You know what I'm saying? Just do something proactive and get you off of the roads and get you off of the streets, man. Because, if you're on the streets, then... if you're on the streets too much with a lot of bad people around you and you're badly influenced, then you're just going on the wrong path. But if you surround yourself with good people, just go a lot of youth clubs, do a lot of practical activities, and get yourself in that certain good frequency, then you're bound to go on the right path,
Sort of like cut out the negative and follow the positive.
Yeah,
Indeed.
exactly.
Indeed. And this is it. I had to bring on this gentleman here. Sam, welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
No, it's a pleasure having you. Right. The dynamic duo, as it were. Here we are.
Lanks Shub.
Sorry. Yeah, so here we are, Lanks Shub indeed. So we've understood that you're an actor, as Manny said, you were acting you as the policeman in his music video,
Yeah.
but there's more than that. You guys are best buds, as it were.
Yes.
Yes.
We've known
Nice
each other
little
for
segue.
a couple of years now. We've worked with each other at the Lyric Hammersmith on projects. We've currently got a project for Lyric Revolution now. I'm giving that a plug too. And that's on the 17th of March.
Yeah, so that'll be in the Lyric Hammersmith for a festival called Evolution, and that will be sharing a little bit of a project we're working on called Journeys. We won't talk too much about that at the moment, but there's always there's always room for more. But I guess what we're really here for today is
buds.
Buds, yeah. So like Manny was saying, we've worked together for a good few years now, and we've always sort of had this sort of banter, this comical sort of relationship where I know that I'm having a stressful day, I can hang around with Manny for a little bit and relieve some of that stress. And I think in life we all go through these moments where you realise, wow, that was enjoyable, I learned I would have dealt with that differently, or maybe that's not how I wanted something to go. And I think it's about not going, okay, this something bad happened today and that's it. It's about turning a negative into a positive. So what I like to do through my own life experiences is literally write about everyone's negative stories and turn that into something positive. Whether it be myself, stories about people I know, or people that just inspire me, or stuff that we're writers, so we come up with a lot of quite creative stories as well.
Yeah, we call and receive each other, and we do all the time on WhatsApp, man. We just get a lot of that flow as well. So if we see something like we had this scene where we stopped the bus instead of stopping the train, you know, that kind of banter right there, and we just kind of embed that in a way and we make that flow.
Work on it, develop it, and turn it into a sort of sketch that you think, oh wow, this looks quite natural and improv, where it probably was because the other day it probably happened for real life, or we were sort of creating it as we're coming along with this stuff. So luckily that's our sort of angle and what works well for me.
That's really interesting. What I really like and what really caught my ear was the taking a negative and turning it into a positive. I think that also generates hope for anyone watching who may have been in a similar situation to yourself, to realise it doesn't have to have a bad ending to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Definitely, man. A lot of people, like young people that are related and they're in that kind of circumstance at the moment, can see, okay, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You know, I'm smoking something that's not right for me, something that's not right for my brain. I'm young. I'm not a fully developed person. I haven't even matured. I haven't even reached the age of 18, let alone 21. And, you know, because you see two people that you could look up to on television telling you what's right and wrong and not to go down this path as these two people, is a very big deal. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's a very good wake up call, do you know? So it has that banter, it has that comedic kind of twist to it, but then bang, when that scene with Indy, when he's telling me, hey, you shouldn't be smoking, man, that's wrong. Go on the CBD instead of smoking the unnatural stuff. That's a wake up call. Like, so a young person could be sitting in a room like, shit, probably he's right. But still, you know, yeah.
I think the main thing is we don't want to preach to anyone. No one likes being told what to do, and luckily enough, we've learnt through some of these situations. So I think it's about going to young people. Look, we can't control you what you do. All we can do is give you the right information and prepare you for knowing this might happen if you choose that path. So luckily enough, I've been around all different types of people. I lived in a hostel from the age of 14. I was independently living, which allowed me to be around some very unpredictable situations, if that makes sense, which as a young person, I might have got involved at some sort of stages. So been around people, maybe be in the wrong place at the wrong time. But I learnt from it and I went, do you know what? Something that's kind of bad isn't technically going to hold me down. I'm going to use this and rise above it and maybe try to show someone else who's not as luckily, hasn't learnt a lot through life and might be going through my sort of similar situation to go, do you know what? You don't have to go through this to learn. You can learn before you've gone through something bad or experienced something bad. And luckily enough, I'm in a situation now where I can give something back. We've grown up. We're both matured.
We're both mature enough to tell it like it is.
We're always maturing, but I think we're both in a stage where we're at life. We've gone, do you know what? We're ready to give something back, and we're luckily enough working in a theatre with young people. So no matter what we do, people are going to be looking up to people like me, myself, and Manny.
Yeah. Every day's a lesson learned, man, and we just take that as well into development while we help other young people,
Yeah.
That's good.
So where did your passion for writing actually come from? When did you first realise that?
Well, this is it. All my life I've been I'm sort of like a TV box. I've got so much going on, but I don't know where to channel it. So I guess writing was the first thing that's kind of showed me that there are other options. You don't have to hang around with the wrong crowd. You don't have to go out on a weekend and get drunk or off your head. You can just keep your head down, and you're not deemed as doing nothing with your life. You can actually focus on something and be really positive. So unfortunately, my dad passed away a few years ago. He had Parkinson's disease, and I didn't know how to cope with knowing that he wasn't very well. So I started off getting into a little bit of trouble, maybe hanging around with wrong people, experimenting with substances, and realising, do you know what, there's more to life than this, but I don't really know how to get to this stage or how to get into work, and you've all got to experiment as a teenager. So growing up, I had my dad's illness on one side, and I had all these distractions, whether it could be smoking or hanging around after school getting into trouble, and I didn't know what to do. And the lyric was the first sort of place that said, do you know what, if you've got a skill, we can help you and we can guide you and we can channel that into something really, really positive, that you don't have to go around and cause your own entertainment. You can make your own entertainment in a safe, constructive environment. So I used to go to Lyric from the age of 17, between living in hostels, and they were the first sort of place that said, we're going to show you how to own your skills, how to really put what you know up here and get it out of your mind and put it into paper. And my skills were so very challenging skills. So I like to do sound effects, I like to do impressions and comedy and make people laugh, but I also used to think, how can I take this into acting? I'm not a straight actor, and I don't just want to go on stage and perform to be liked. I had a passion, but my passion was to make people learn from me, and people go, wow, he's really got something, but in his style of telling. So for me, I had some really big people who inspired me as I grew up. Comedians like Lee Evans, writers John Sullivan, who wrote Only Fools and Horses, and also some sketches for 80s comedies like Porridge or Steptoe and Son. Watching these shows, I used to love them, and it would be like an addiction, but a pure natural addiction. So from the ages of like maybe 5, 6, 7, growing up, watching all these old school comedies, and then it would just kind of fizzle out as you'd grow up, and I used to think, why aren't these jokes applied more in life? These are real life jokes that have been written by people that had gone through these experiences. Why are they not getting more appreciation? So as I grew up, I used to basically write similar sort of jokes written from believable real life situations, and that kind of distracted me from my dad's illness, and it kind of said that you don't need to rely on anyone. You don't have to rely on anyone else. You can make anything happen. And luckily I was in a nice calm hostel, so I could keep my head down and do a bit of writing when I finished work and went to the theatre. I didn't have to spend that much money, so I was staying safe and being in a nice environment, and it sort of turned into from nothing into something. And I was going into acting and going into work going, look, this is a scene I've wrote about these two characters who have kind of grown as I've grown, and people were giving me great feedback. They were saying, this is such a strong script, and this reminds me of this show, and this reminds me of this, and you've got to push it and make it happen. And it got to the point where if I wasn't doing anything with it, I would be disappointed in myself. So the passion for writing and the passion to go, do you know what, I want to make people laugh, I want people to learn from characters like these, that's what spurred me on, and that's what got me through. And before I knew it, I had something so strong that I had to take somewhere. Me and Manny had to do something with this.
Exactly. That's the message, man. If you've got a plan and you're really passionate about it, like you've got your 100% effort in it, and it's your whole life, don't leave it on the shelf and look at it. You know, take it from the shelf and do something with it. You know, that's the overall message.
And I think it's good to say, no one out there, nothing comes for free. You get in life what you put in. If you sit around waiting, oh, something's going to happen, this is going to happen one day, that's going to happen, then you've got yourself to blame. If you want something enough, you've got to make it happen. You've got to go out there and go, do you know what? I can obviously do this with your help, but with myself, I can make it to this stage, so that no matter what happens, I can say I've tried my best, and it's at a point in my life where I'm happy and I'm comfortable with it, rather than going, oh, do you know what? One day I'll make that happen, or one day we'll be actors, one day we'll do this. Yeah. We didn't wait for that one day. We went, do you know what? Whether you like it or not, we're going to make it happen.
Man. Yeah.
That is something that really needs to be done. That passion and that drive. And what I really, really have to compliment you both for is that you're not keeping that knowledge to yourselves. You've actually realised it, and you're now using it within the lyric or everywhere else that you are, even in the stories that you're telling, to pass it on to others. I was going to say of a younger generation, but I don't think it necessarily is the case.
It's level to anyone that wants help.
Because it doesn't necessarily have to be like because young people, that's the stereotype people would say because we're young, you know, it's a message to young people. No, because a guy at 25 onwards to maybe 35 is going through that kind of hell, and he needs that message as well in his head as well, and he needs that as a wake-up call. So it's depicted to all young ages, man.
This is
a wide span of audience.
So in terms of the characters, how did you come about creating those?
Well, believe it or not, I am Lanks. That is a little bit of me. I believe in life, when you write from the heart, when you write about what you know, that's when you've got something gold and you can't go wrong. You can go wrong, but luckily I like to think I didn't. So Lanks is me with the volume turned right up to the top, okay? So in life, I like wrestling, I like different comedies, I like all different things with the characters pushed way to the max. It might be,
yeah,
it might be unbelievable, but for me, that's saying, do you know what, you're doing something well and you're doing it to your best ability. So I'd say Lanks is myself with the volume turned up, and a lot of the situations that Lanks and Shub have been through are real situations that myself or people I know, my family members or my friends and people that I know have gone through or inspired me to go, do you know what, that could work, and that would be really funny seeing how Lanks and Shub would deal with that sort of situation. Good example, Manny was, you know how you stop the bus these days, hold your hand out to stop the bus. Noticed Manny stopping the bus, and I thought, do you know what, it'd be really funny if Shub continued to do that and thought, stop the train or maybe goes up an escalator and wants to stop it by holding his hands out. So it's about taking an idea and growing with it and not going, do you know what, that's the end of that story. Anything can happen, and it's just about sort of expanding these ideas and sort of seeing where else they can go.
And that's where the stem comes from. It's about stemming that idea that you just developed, you know, like a plant, and it grows to a tree. You know, that's how it is.
Lovely. And the character of Shub was literally a really good close mate of mine, believe it or not, like Manny. And it was just little bits of his life merged with another character and another character. And I thought, do you know what, this is such a strong, random, crazy, unpredictable character that it needs to be out there. But the fact that I knew this was loosely based on a close mate of mine gave me the push to go, do you know what, this could be believable because I actually know someone where this could happen. So I think that's the confidence. Work with what you know. It's great if you can come up with a character that's out of nothing and that's believable and it sells as well. But I think with me, the confidence really helps me. If I know that this has happened in the real world and it is believable because I've took aspects from this life and that life, that really shows, do you know what, that can work, and then you can do something as strong as possible because you believe in it.
Yeah,
big stuff. Manny, coming back to you now. Having a character, whereas for Sam, he is Lanks.
Yeah.
Having a character of Shub brought to you and being more of a musical background from what everyone's familiar with. Yeah. How was it embracing the acting side? How was that experience for you?
Well, naturally, if you're a performer, you're already an actor. You know, I do that every time in open mics. You know, music was a way I expressed myself from a young age, man. Since I was 7 years old, you know, I had my first karaoke microphone. I used to be in front of the TV watching guys like Will Smith, you know, S Club 7. I used to watch Drew Hill, Tyrese, and I just used to express the way that these singers would perform in an animated type of way. And that's where the arts and the performing arts background came from, and that's where my dad pushed me into performing arts to get me off of the street. So when I was the age of like 13 or 14, like at the same time I would be doing acting and I would be doing music at the same time. He put me in the booth when I was a kid, when I was just like knee high, man. He put me in front of a microphone. Yeah, he told me just go and do it, and he developed from there. And of course, as a young person, you're confused, like, why am I being pushed at a young age? Like, if you're 7 years old, you're confused. Like, I want to be an astronaut, you know. I didn't know anything music, but I always had that creativity as a backbone. And then I went to First Step School of Drama. I did plays like the Blood Brothers. I did Cinderella, and then I went next door to the Lyric Hammersmith. And then ever since then, man, I've just been creatively, you know, surrounded by a lot of acting workshops, a lot of performance workshops. I've done a lot of summer shows in the summer, and it's just really just enhanced my performance skills, because performing arts blends the element of your acting and your singing together. Even if you're in musicals and you're not a singer, actors have to sing, you know, because that's a part of the arts. The arts is a part of you, and the performing arts is a part of me. So it's in my blood, and you know, I'm 100% with it. And you know, as Sam was saying, Shub was based on, you know, a character of a friend he knew for a very long time. I don't know that friend. I would have loved to know him, but yeah, I'm trying to channel that character because I really know that I'm a very animated person. I'm a very comedic person. I like to bust and crack a lot of jokes and do banter. Sometimes I say stupid stuff, but those elements of Shub, as you said with Lanks, it's turned up a notch. It's an embellished version of myself, I'd say, with Shub. And yeah, in terms of career aspirations, at first when Sam gave me the script, I was a little hesitant, like, whoa, he's a weed smoker? And, you know, in terms of career aspirations, I was kind of, how do I say this? I was kind of alienated in a way as to how it would portray me as a brand in itself, as a performer and a singer. I was kind of like alienated, saying, whoa, Shub is like that, so what would people think of me if they see my music videos and they see me performing and stuff? But I said, you know what, man, I'm an actor, man, and I wanted to do something humbly, you know, to be part of a comedy buddy flick. Because every day as a kid, I'd see Keenan and Kel. I watched the Wayans Brothers, you know, I watched shows like Bottom. And I say, I would love to be a part of a show like that, a body comedy. Even when I was a kid, I'll say, if I had my own comedy show with a duo and I'll crack jokes with someone, you know, I'd say that could work a lot. And I think, I think that's where it comes from. And
it's also challenging for you because you're nothing like Shub. I mean, you have your crazy moments and you have your unpredictable, but you don't smoke and you don't drink.
Exactly.
And you are very, I mean, Manny is very professional in his life. So giving him the challenge of thinking, could he pull off this character that kind of is completely different to his lifestyle was a question in myself. But I knew from the banter we had and the chemistry as friends that Manny had it in him.
He could just pull it off.
Yeah. I mean, there's times where I think, okay, maybe Shub wouldn't do that or Shub would do that differently, but I like having a fresh twist on it as well. So it's good.
Even I have my Shub-like moments as well. There was this one time where we was in Hatton Cross and I was using my Google Maps and then I just bumped into Sam. I was standing in the same direction and the Google Map, I was like looking, and then Super Sinks was just like 5 minutes from the road.
Shub.
I was just looking, that's a Shub moment. So everyone has their little Shub moments so they can laugh at as well, because even a little dumb things, okay, I do that, okay. Everyone has a Shub moment. You know, a cough and a sneeze. That's a Shub moment. Anything is a Shub moment, man. Anything you do out of the bloom. So, and that's how I incorporated and I got really warmed up and open to the character. Like, when we were doing the rough cut version, I was really hesitant to put the blunt in my mouth. I lighted it up, but on the next one, I didn't put the blunt in my mouth, and I just...
You didn't even have it round the right way.
Hey, I'm not a weed smoker, so I wouldn't know, but, you know, I was... Just to learn, I should just look up what do weed smokers really do, but that kind of thing, you know. But I'm learning every time.
It's building up the character. Building up the character.
Yeah, man.
That's really good. So it's in development now. Is there a launch date potentially to look forward to, or is it something you'll keep us posted on?
Oh, should we keep it as a little secret? I don't know. Well, I think it's important you guys know because we want people to watch it.
Tell about the social media, man. Tell about
you can catch us on. I have an Instagram channel which is Lanks Productions. Lanks like lanky, productions like I'm a production artist. And the actual channel for Buds is Buds 2018. So it's Buds as in flower buds or best friend buds.
Yes.
Thank you, Manny, for spelling. I didn't know.
And 2018. You know how to spell 2018?
I think we do. Nice. So that's out on Instagram now. You can check our YouTube channel, which would be YouTube Lanks Productions, and there's loads of clips on there that give you little impressions about what me and Manny are like creating the web series. I mean, in an ideal world, we're going to have its own YouTube page for just Buds promoting it. It's got its own Instagram.
You can see a lot of clips and a lot of segments from different episodes.
We're going to try and release a few shorter clips, so it might be in episode 1 but done in 5 parts of like 3-4 minute clips. Also at the theatre we work, so the Lyric Harris touching Bill and Ben then. Right. Also, at the Lyric Theatre Hammersmith where we work, we're going to have a preview night where we actually show this with a few people from the industry, some great people who actually work and helped us produce this lovely web series. So there's going to be some great people to actually get advice from, or even if you want to get into a project like this yourself. The Lyric Hammersmith is a really good theatre between the ages of 12 to 25. You can come down, join a membership form, and start creating. So you can't stop.
Only £10 a year, man. That's cheap as hell.
Nice plug.
Trust me. I'm an alumni, you know, so gotta give that plug.
I really want to give you both like the congratulations for taking your creativity and really building it in such a way, and more than anything else, it's using the creativity to put out a positive message.
That's
and
it.
I think in this generation, it's not seen enough. It isn't seen enough. As you said,
Very rare, yeah.
everyone will take the influence of what you're hearing. And don't get me wrong, I love my rap music and I'm not going to diss anyone. But the message isn't always there.
Yeah.
In everything that you do, whether it be a web series or in music, you guys are promoting a message of this could happen, but these are the effects.
Yeah,
Cause and effect.
definitely.
And it's most definitely shown in what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
So once again, thank you, Sam,
To
for
give
that.
myself a plug as well.
I was going to say, Manny, we need that plug.
Instagram / Manny Gentleman, which is MANNY Gentleman. Separate gentle and man. Same thing with the Twitter. YouTube.com / Manny G TV, and you'll see loads of various covers and music video of Stop is on there too. The anti-gun and knives crime that I was talking about.
Well, talking of that, I think that we've got scenes that people have been seeing at the moment of Buds, but it's for the premiere.
Yeah.
However, we've talked about Stop. I think it's only fitting, Manny, if you could introduce Stop, and that's how we'll end this interview.
Okay, guys, ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you the premiere of the Stop music video by Manny G. And I hope you guys humbly enjoy it, and I hope you guys in the tough time get this message. Okay,
Enough
peace.
clapping.
Let go.
Thank you much, love. Beautiful.
Two families are crying, and it's so hard to comfort them, because I don't know what to say to them. So what we've got to do is pray for them, and God do the rest for them. Youths of today, you're living in darkness. You don't understand how precious life is. Whether you're black or white or what color you are, it's wrong to take anyone's life. It's time for changes. Let's settle our differences without these knives and guns. Without these knives and guns. No more guns, no more knives. Stop, no more crime. Let's show more hate all around the world. Let's show it. Stop, no more guns, no more knives. Stop, no more crime. Let's show more love all around the world. You gotta think first before you make quick decisions, and you'll regret when both families are crying for their loved ones they lost. And it's hurting, and you'll be hurting too when you're locked away from your families, and you wonder why it happened so fast. Listen, you could go back and stop this madness if you only used your head with a little common sense. Common sense. No more guns, no more knives. Stop, no more crime. Let's show more love all around the world. Stop, no more guns, no more knives. Stop, no more crime. Let's show more love all around the world. All around the world. It's time for changes. So let's all come together and say a prayer for both families. We must work harder together to get these knives and guns off the street. Just get them off the street. No more guns, no more knives. Stop, no more crime. Let's show more love all around the world. All around the world. Stop, no more guns, no more knives. Stop, no more crime. Let's show more love all around the world. No more guns, no more knives. No more knives. Stop, no more crime. Let's show more love all around the world. Stop, no more guns, no more knives. Stop, no more crime. Let's show more knives. No more. Stop, no more guns, no more knives. Stop, no more crime. Let's show. Let's stop all around the world.
Okay, another positive message there from Manny G. Manny can keep up the good work.